introducing the wrong thing. It's a part. I mean, if the game was more on the fly, if you get what I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like for instance, right? Like they need to have like, if you want the sticky bombs, it needs to be like you just pick it up on the fly instead of storing it, you know,
Yeah.
and just have a very small backpack. Pick the shit up and store it that way. But they changed it to a degree where they changed the gameplay up where now you have like the fucking nano machine shit. So it's like, what's the fucking point of arrows and shit like that? But I mean, I don't know. I mean, let me let you finish what you were going to say.
I don't know, man. Like when I think about Horizon, there's a part of me that almost feels like I don't even really want to talk about the game too much anymore because it's like, and I'm not saying that because of you. It's just like when I think about Horizon, I think about like what I would find fun in a game, and that's just not the type of game that Horizon is. You know what I mean? And it's not the
So,
type of game that they would want to make.
so what would you find fun? I'm just kind of curious. Cargo containers.
Honestly, bro, I think that they should cut back on the RPG mechanics. Either that or take it out. Or if you know what, this is what I think. One of two things. Either take out the RPG mechanics basically altogether and make it where when you fight the machines like in stages. You know what I mean? And all of her abilities are based off of her move set.
Such as.
You know what I mean? Like her being able to dodge, her bow, um, things like that. You know what I mean? To where you can kind of like upgrade her move set based off of her core what you call it, her core abilities. You know, jumping, right? All of the things that you kind of do like on a core level, like allow you to sort of like uh, level those up and build those out in those ways. You know what I mean? And then anything.
Explain. Wait, explain.
Okay, so I think I said this shit before, but so for example, right? Oh, the fucking shield wing. That's another core element in the game. To me, right? I think it would be cooler if they would allow you to, like I said, like if you were fighting a machine, the only way that you can kill the machine, right, is to kind of tear parts of the body off at one particular point and then get it to another phase, right? And then there are certain things that the machine does that you can kind of take advantage of, right? So like one ability that she could have, right, is to parry the machines. You know what I mean? Using her shield wing. So like if what you call it, like if the machine charges at her or some shit like that, right? She could either like parry, like use the machine's momentum and kind of like parry the machine and kind of stagger it that way. And that could be like a skill tree that's based off of the shield wing itself, right?
How would
You
the
know,
shield wing work?
as a parry, like a shield, like she
Oh,
could
okay,
parry.
okay, 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 okay.
Yeah. Or like I was thinking, right? Maybe what she could do, right, in some cases, is to be able to like what you call it? Uh like say if her dodge ability, right? You could upgrade her dodge ability to where she could say jump over the machine and then position herself in a way where like she ends up behind the machine that gives her like a tactical advantage. You know what I mean? Something like that,
Or you can
right?
bait the. Or you talking about you can bait the enemy to kind of like in Shadow of the Colossus where you made them slam into something and they got dazed.
Something like that. Yeah, 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 exactly. You know, and people could kind of, because people play the games differently, right? So they could use that ability, that core function in the game, however they want. But the system is in the game for them to use it, right? However they want to use it. And I think a lot of people would have fun with that shit. You know, like they could figure out like all of these cool ways that you could use, you know, her core abilities in the game to fuck the machines up, basically. You know, and the bigger the machines get, right? The more stages you have to do to actually kill them. You know what I mean? And it would be like less of an RPG game, but more of a like technicality. You know what I mean? To where you have to use all of her core functions in some way to actually kill the machine. And then she has her what you call it, like her bow and all of the abilities that come with her bow, right? Either something like that, like something in that ballpark, or you make it like super RPG, right? If you're gonna go the RPG route, like lean way into it, and I mean like way into it to where it's like everything that she does, right, is it has some effect on either the story or something to do with her character build. You know what I mean? So it's like you have all of these different tribes, all of these different races, right? Or whatever. You know, all of these different cultures, I should say, right? And you could use like say like let's say you could use your prestige with a particular fucking tribe, right? And then you leveling up the prestige with that tribe unlocks you certain abilities, right? And I mean abilities that you can actually use for her combat, right? So you engaging with these people, right? What you call it? Directly affects her build. So any kind of like dialogue, any kind of interactions that you have with the characters, because it's a narrative game, right? Would be directly related to how she performs in battle and in combat and in the actual gameplay scenario. You know, so you could whatever you could spend a lot of time leveling up one particular tribe to get one particular skill tree of abilities, right? Because let's just say that they teach you how to do these things, like in the lore, right? You learn their ways. They teach you these skills according to the lore, right?
I think we spoke about that. Like basically, each tribe is supposed to have like an ability or at least a strength. The Oseram being strong or whatever the case is, and it's so light in this game. It's not even fucking funny, bro.
It almost gives me the impression that it's like I don't know, like the game doesn't know exactly what it wants to be.
No, because it doesn't. The thing that they do know is that the machines and taking the parts off, they got that part right, but then they don't know how to implement it. It's like they want several different games. They want it to be realistic, but it's not realistic. So it's like because you're fighting these big ass machines, you know what I mean? And it's like it was weird to me that she was fighting an enemy that had a shield, and then she uses it to do a hang glide.
Oh, and not an actual. It's called a shield wing. You know what I mean?
And it's like, but why did you do that? So
Yeah.
this is how I would do it, right? Um, in order for her to learn certain, but you can still like, depending on your play style, right, would depend on where you want to go. You know what I mean? The Osaram, the Tanakh, like you know what I mean. Tanakh is melee based. The Osaram is like heavy. You know what I mean? So her clothes would be heavier on her, but she wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like she wouldn't move. I mean, but she would could take a, more damage. So to knock this more, hand to hand, and she'd be able to use her fist whatever needs she needs to, or whatever the case is. And maybe she can use the nano machines and it surround her hands, or whatever the case is. She can reprogram it for a spear, or whatever the case is. You know, maybe something like that. So basically, her weapon will be a makeshift. Her, that type of weapon. I mean, that type of nano machine thing could transform into different things. I think And I think I've made a concession over the years. She has way too many weapons. There's way too many items, to make said ammo spaces or ammo things. It shouldn't even be in that. It shouldn't even be like that. You know what I mean? Like if you want explosives, right? There should be some fucking fruit on a tree that you can go directly there and pick it up, and it's like explosive fruit. You know what I mean? Shit like that.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, like the thing that's annoying. Oh, you fucking bitch. The thing that's annoying is that hold on for a minute. The thing is annoying is that you get to break certain parts off. You know what I mean? I feel like you should always get the loot, but if you can break it off, they'll give you a shit ton of that loot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like you have to shoot this fucking part off with these fast moving ass enemies.
See, that would be something that they could use as an ability in the game. You know,
I
um,
mean,
yeah. So like if you're looking for a specific like part on the machine, right? Give you an ability that you can unlock, right? Where the game basically like auto targets the part on the machine,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and then
Hmm.
it'll just shoot it off, and then it goes through another cooldown time. And like with the whole parry thing, right? Because if you could overuse it, so I would say put it. I think I said this before, but put it on a cooldown timer, so players don't overuse it, you know. Um, or maybe even you kind of have to build up your parry using, because they have the technical points in the game. Maybe you could do it that way, where you have to kind of build your technical points through fighting the machine, and then you can fucking parry. So you can't overuse the shit, you know. And then she has that grapple hook too, like the hook shot or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, I forgot
Um,
what game where you like grapple yourself onto the enemy. What a game that you like? I just can't remember it.
yeah, see, that would be something that would be kind of cool. You know what I mean?
Like
Like,
that's what make the game like not fun. You know what I mean? Because you have to do so much fucking micromanagement with the game. Like this game is micromanagement the game. You know what I mean? And maybe she should have an ability where it ain't like an auto. And if you can manage to take the parts off of the machine, then that'll make it die quicker. Not just not using attack, but it causes massive fucking damage. Which they do have that built into the core mechanics, but it takes a little bit of extra damage instead of a lot of fucking damage. Oh, see, like right now, I'm supposed to get the blast paste, and I have to shoot like the thighs of these like fucking stalkers. But like, I only get two fighting this crazy ass machine. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's why I say like it should be like basically almost as like a survival game. You know what I mean?
I remember when they first showed the gameplay sequence for Horizon, the first one. Um, and when she was fighting the fucking I forgot what the shit, the Thunderjaw.
Underdraw.
Yeah. Um, One of the things that I remember them showcasing was when she took the discs off the machine, right? It tore the armor off, right? And then it exposed the core of the machine. And then she used the explosive arrow to basically one-shot the machine. Once
That's
the
why
core
that's
of
why
the
the
machine
first
was
one that's why the
exposed.
first one was funner. You know what I mean? To most people, it wasn't micromanaged. This game is like it meanders around in terms of what you have to do. It's like it does not respect your time. You got to do a whole bunch of shit. I mean, it's cool to like shoot off little parts or whatever. I mean, whatever, but it doesn't feel gratifying. You know what I mean? Even when you take the fucking weapons from the machine off, you take the weapons off the machine, it still doesn't feel gratifying. I only got like fucking six blast paste. You know what I mean? And I need like two of them to make a fucking to make like six arrows. Like that's not
Yeah,
that ain't cool. We got time for doing all that shit. And that's just the net of it. You know what I mean? Like I'll play around with
yeah,
it because it was the only game that you know only play one game at a time really in that capacity. So
yeah.
in terms of the story, it's like that's one thing people did say about the Horizon Lego thing. Like Aloy just doesn't seem like no. Aloy seems no fun allowed. That's what she seems like. She's
And
constantly
then like,
serious. She's overly serious. You know what I mean? She's and now I understand why they say one note characters. I never understood what that meaning was. I was like, one note. But I mean, she doesn't have that many emotions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean? It's just stoic or angry. And that stoic is like, she kind of want to pretend to be like she's caring, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when they first showed the scene, when you showed me that video, when she was like, I really want to help you or whatever, that seemed more genuine than anything in this game. When he was like, don't worry about me, just worry, just get Aaron. And she really seemed like she cared about Aaron, you know what I mean? But I guess she has to be a lesbian, so.
Damn. Oh shit, I forgot about the lesbian shit.
Because it was in the DLC.
Yeah.
Like what Aloy would try to do is she would try to understand the cultures and shit like that. That's one thing that was always about her. Oh, you really loved him, or you really loved her, or whatever the case is. But she was like a conduit for that. But she never had a relationship. But the reason why it doesn't seem like Aloy could have a relationship or not, because she's just so fucking stoic and always serious. Can't have fucking fun. And that's how she was written by whoever wrote the fucking story. And it wasn't Guerrilla Games that wrote it. It was some fucking hack. It was the same guy that wrote this story. Wrote fucking what do you call that game? Ragnarok.
Mm.
That Ben dude.
Shelter. Should be safe here.
And his stench is on both of these things.
Yeah.
It's very liberal, very, you know what I mean? It's not even about lesbians. It's just you just have to be a perfect fucking little bitch. You can't show Aloy in a bad light because, like, when they showed her as a Lego bitch, you know what I mean? She's eating hot dogs and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She can goof around. She's pulling the hot dog from the fucking Thunderjaw. You know what I mean?
It was
She'll,
just more lighthearted and fun.
and everybody's like, I like this character better. And it's like, you can't force people to like your shitty ass fucking writing. You know what I mean? Your writing isn't that good. That's why they don't like it. Because they didn't really have a problem with Aloy initially. There's a problem with her fucking, it's the problem with the writing.
Yeah.
Fucking Beta has more personality than Aloy. But she goes around, she don't have that much, in terms of the battle, she doesn't have that much to like really shield her. You know what I mean? She's always exposed, she's always too slow. You know what I mean? And I don't necessarily want to use like big ass fucking weaponry. Because guess what?
Yeah.
I have to kill like 19 fucking Thunderjaws to get one pouch. No, excuse me, 19 Apex Thunderjaws. I'm thinking like, how did they not see that? That people won't like that shit. Like
Yeah.
you tried to make it like, oh, we want to make it more difficult. Like the game was already like challenging to people because these machines move very fast. You know what I mean?
Damn.
It'll be interesting to see how the new one's gonna be with this. Now they introduce nanotechnology. Maybe she'll put the world to the side so she can have fucking gay relations with fucking Seika. The world is just burning, just like Miles Morales. You got all these fucking aliens all over the fucking place, and the only thing you think about is that death bitch. Like, save the fucking world first before you do that. You wanna go steady sometime? Bitch, there's aliens everywhere. The fuck are you talking about?
Love.
I love it. And the whole stamina thing is like fucking annoying. You know what I mean? That's one thing I like about Stellar Blade, man. They said fuck that stamina. But yeah, like most of the weapons need to have like a, you know what I mean? Have like a position, you know, such as
That shit does so much fucking damage, goddamn.
like most of these weapons should have like the stance of, how can I put it? Um, this weapon blows off armor. You know what I mean? And like have it universally, like it's always about, it always blows off the armor. The whole stamina meter, they should not have that. Just remove it. Just remove it altogether.
I low-key don't feel like talking to her right now anymore.
Who is it?
One of the girls.
Hmm?
It's just one of the girls.
Oh shit. Almost fucking died because of you. Who is it?
My lord. You're not gonna like this shit, man. But I just thought of one game. There was a side quest in Breath of the Wild, man, that I really fucking loved, man. It was such a cool side quest, man.
Why would I like it?
Well, I know how you are with that fucking game, but there was this one cool side quest, man. It was really dope. It was like this thing where you had to what you call it? You had to collect these people, right? That were scattered around the world, and the clue that the game gave you, right, was that they all had a name that started with a certain way that their name was, but they didn't tell you exactly where they were. They told you what region they were in, but they didn't tell you exactly where to look for them, right? So you had to kind of go and look around and find those specific characters, right? And what happened was, once you found the characters, what you were able to do, right, was send them to a location, right, on the map, which you had to discover by yourself, by the way. But it's pretty easy. Like when you get to that area, it's kind of like a big point of interest. It's big. Like you can't miss it when you get into that area, right? So it kind of, your eye kind of draws to it, and it makes you wonder like what's over there, right? And you could send people to that location on the map, right? And once you start sending people to that specific location, what happens is they start building a town there, right? They start building everything, and then you have to actually, what you call it, get the materials to help, like, actually, you know, create the foundation for the town and everything. So every time you send a person over there, there was another part of the town that they were able to build, and you had to get the materials to continue the construction for the town. And as you, what you call it, expanded the actual town, it actually turned into a spot where you could actually do things from it. So there was like a marketplace, there was commerce there, you were able to like store, was it store items? No, you couldn't store items there. But they opened up shops at the fucking town, and they had this cool little side quest story that was actually interesting with two of the characters.
Well, they were gay?
No. It was a love story. So one of the
I don't know how I wouldn't like it. Why you say that?
I'm just saying, the whole Zelda Nintendo thing.
Oh,
But
just like Zelda.
the whole Nintendo thing.
I just like fucking the overratedness of. I just like the media what they did with the game, and then people that overhyped the game.
It was just stuff like that, man, that made me really love that game, man. You know, it was a really cool side quest. And the thing is that it kind of like persisted through the game, right? And you could completely miss it too. Like if you weren't paying attention, you could not ever complete it essentially, because the game doesn't tell you exactly where to find these people. They just give you the kind of like the general region, and you kind of have to use and the game doesn't explicitly even tell you that. You know, it's just that when you run into certain people in the game, they kind of give you clues, right? Um, and then you piece it together. It's not like it's elusive a little bit, but it's not too elusive where you can't figure it out. You know, so it's cool the way that they put it together. And then there was this storyline with one of the characters where she was on this journey to like find a husband, and she ended up marrying one of the characters. What you call it? That joined your party. But it was really cool, man. It was so cool. Like, it was cool watching, because when you first find that area, it's like a barren land, you know? And then once you start sending people over there, it all starts changing. Like, you get someone who could build the houses, and then you see houses start showing up later on. And then you send someone over there who does commerce, right? Like a store, and then you see stores start popping up, right? There are a few stores that show up where you can buy armor and like other materials. So it was actually useful in a way, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a pointless side quest. The town actually was useful for something, you know? And then once it was finished, it was like this whole town, like there were buildings there, people living there, and it's like, it was cool as fuck, man. I love that shit. If they had more side quests like that in games, man, like, I would be cool with it, you know? But a lot of times, man, it's not like that shit. It's like fetch quests, collect items, you know, some dumbass story, you know, about some character that you give absolutely zero fucks about.
There's a transgender one about his fucking outfit and uniform. I don't care. They always call me crazy because I like to wear women's clothes. Who the fuck cares, my dude? Earth is on the brink of extinction, yo. You think somebody give a fuck about what you wear?
Yeah, shit like that, man. Like, when they had that story in Spider-Man, with the old dude and the married woman who was dead and all that, I was just like, this is so stupid. And then the girl she just walks in from the side of the camera out of nowhere. Oh, Grandpa, there you are. This is so stupid, man. I was like, this is not fun, man. This is not cool. I don't like this shit.
You liked it.
Oh, man. Horizon had a fucking story like that too, man. They had something in there that did something similar.
Yeah, they
With
did.
with the fucking the goddamn dude who was forgetting shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like, man, this shit is retarded.
It was
Not that it
like,
was bad. It's not that it was bad, but it just wasn't fun. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't fun to do. You know,
I thought it was
like
pretty
that.
decent, but I thought, like, to me, it was one of the better ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say it was one of the better ones.
Climbing up a mountain to get a flower was ridiculous. They say that I was always a wimp.
Oh, you know what? I actually take that back. I just remembered the storyline behind that. That was actually pretty dope.
I mean,
Where,
on paper, it sounded like it. You know,
I
it sounded
mean,
like the Spider-Man one. But
I kind of take it back. I kind of take it back because it wasn't fun, but the story was interesting. Like the whole thing with how he thought it was like wars, or he was still back in the war or whatever. Like that shit was cool. I like that.
You know, climbing the mountain because you got a flower because the flowers let you know that you're tough. You know, that you could just tell it just reeked of subverting expectations. People think that flowers are girl things, but a flower is supposed to be in this tribe let you know that you're a tough person if you can get this flower. And then he's like, I only did it for Paul. And when you rescue him, I think he likes you. Shut up, sister.
That fucking storyline from Spider-Man took the cake, man. For me, was the when they
You just
did the
sat there and watched, and you didn't use any of Spidey's abilities.
the one that really got me, man, was
Homecoming.
the
Driving in.
yeah, the fucking proposal thing, man. I was like, what is?
They did that shit off rip, yo. Can you help me? I, re-
I'm gay.
I really like him, and by the way, I'm gay. And
I'm super gay. Can you help me?
did I
Fuck.
mention I was gay?
Yeah. Oh, gay, by the way.
Yeah, gay. What's your name? Gay.
Gay.
I mean, I'm Paul.
Oh my
I'm like,
god,
don't they know
man.
how inorganic that is? That don't even happen with straight people.
Bro, man.
No, I have a video on my PS5 where I rescued a guy, right? As Miles Morales, I rescued him, right? And he was like, you have to swing them at the hospital, right? And I did that shit, and everything was, relatively cool. I dropped him off and shit like that. And he's like, wait, before you go,
Don't have enough stamina.
um, I just want to let you know that my boyfriend is a real big fan of yours. And it's like this nigga with like Timberland boots and shit like that.
That's funny.
And the music sucks in Spider-Man. It really does.
I like
I actually never liked the music in the first Spider-Man either. Very campy.
the title music, like the main theme. I always thought it sounded pretty cool. It sounded heroic. It just had a very like heroic sound to it.
Yeah, it came from Ratchet and Clank. That's how Ratchet and Clank sounds like almost to a T. Now that Miles Morales one, they fucking killed that shit.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was a good one. I don't really remember any of the other music in the game though, to be honest.
There was just variations of that.
Hmm.
Do 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 do.
Do, 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 do,
That's
do,
Final
do,
Fantasy